Hey, what's happening, guys? So it's been 12 years since the big guy was on screen last, and he's finally back in Kong Skull Island. This one stars Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, Corey Hawkins, John Goodman, Samuel L. Jackson, Toby Kebbell, Tian, Jing, Jason Mitchell, John C. Reilly, and it's directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts. The story in this one follows a group of explorers in the early 1970s that travel out to a remote island in the Pacific, and they come face to face with massive monsters and the legendary ape himself, Kong. Now, we are flooded with remakes and reboots these days, and this was just yet another one. There have been a handful of Kong movies over the years, the last being back in 2005, a film to me that felt much more like Jurassic Park with a big ape in it. However, I will admit the trailers for this one did show some promise. But the trailers always make a movie look good. It's their sole job, and with so many of these big budget adventure films just being sort of underwhelming, I didn't really have the highest expectations for this movie. The first act starts out rather ordinary as it introduces the characters and shows the building of the team of people that will be traveling out on this expedition. There is also a good amount of expositionary dialogue thrown at you early on as well that kind of sets the foundations for everything, and for the first 20 minutes or so of this movie, it was enjoyable but still very ordinary. Then the story turns on a dime and the tension ramps up immediately and holds strong for the rest of the runtime with a storyline that creates a wildly tense and impactful yet equally humorous adventure that I found to be a great time. The performances were all serviceable, with no one bringing in a bad performance, but none really elevating the material either, except for John C. Reilly, who we will get to in a minute. But for the rest of the cast, they were all solid in their roles. I was worried about the possible Hiddleston-Larson love subplot kind of wasting time, but they avoided it, and while both their characters were very cut and paste, they worked well for this story. I did feel John Goodman was a little bit wasted, but with this large cast, there wasn't really any particular character that dominated the film, which in the end was a good thing. They let the island, Kong, and the other monsters be the stars of this movie, yet all the other cast members had their moments, and a big kudos to Samuel L. Jackson, who I love. Yes, he did have some of his trademark Samuel L-isms, but he actually played a role that had a unique persona at times, which was fun to see. Now, as for the visuals, I thought they were absolutely fantastic and completely eye-popping from start to finish. Unlike Godzilla from 2014, where the headliner was all but forgotten, this film boasts its star front and center in all his glory, and the result was fantastic. I thought he was implemented perfectly into the story, he was never forgotten, and with some great direction, excellent cinematography, and camera work, you truly feel the power this famous ape has. I thought the tropical island was a fun backdrop, and with some nice wide shots and impactful close-ups, you truly grasp the size of Kong, and throughout this film, he has just one amazing scene after the other, but the film also delivers a great amount of suspense from the settings alone. The film creates a strong, uneasy feeling when the group hits the island, and with the various massive creatures that also roam the land, you really never know what is going to happen, which only adds to the feeling of helplessness that the characters are portraying. Now, yes, the story does follow a routine arc, but lines itself with so many other impressive, unique, and effective elements. The storyline still comes off as relatively fresh, very ambitious, and highly entertaining. The writing did play it safe, but it was effective in creating characters you can build interest in with some nicely placed comedy to really break the tension up. Which leads me to the bright spot of this film, that being John C. Reilly, who I consider to be the true star of this film. I will admit what they showed of him in the trailers did worry me. I wasn't sure how the last would really play out in the tone of this story. I was also curious if the comedic attempts could possibly pull some of the impact of the overall film, but I was completely wrong. Not only was Reilly's character the most developed, he was the most likable, the most connectable character, and I thought his comedic delivery was incredible. Reilly hit every scene in line with an effortless perfection, and despite some of the other cast members drawing a chuckle during a tense moment here and there, Reilly shines the brightest with his comedic timing. Overall, Kong Skull Island was not perfect, but it was a blast. I enjoyed watching it, and I'm going to give it an A-. For a film with a giant fighting ape in it, the adventure it delivers was a great time. It kept me engaged from start to finish, delivers the crazy adventures the promos promised, and I definitely recommend checking this film out to enjoy all the stunning visuals and all the climactic battles. It was a strong reboot for this famous character to really introduce him to a new audience, and with an IMAX presentation, it was just awesome and nostalgic at the same time. And that's my review of Kong Skull Island, guys. I definitely recommend checking it out next weekend when it hits theaters. I had a great time sitting through it. Let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite moments are from the Kong films over the years. Let me know if you're interested in checking this film out. Don't forget to drop this video a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a new review. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the Silver Screen Analysis, and we'll see you at the movies.